What's going on, guys? It's Jake here from Chief Live Gaming. Today, bringing you a Warhammer 30k Horus Heresy Battle Report. Today, my Death Guard take on Dirk's Salamanders in this slightly smaller game. It's going to be just over 1,600 points per side for this game. We have not rolled for deployment or game type yet. Just wanted to give you guys a quick look at the board and talk to you guys. So this is Dirk's first Warhammer 30k game, full-size game with his Salamanders. So what we're doing here is we're taking basically more of the basic units, nothing too crazy, just to get the hang of kind of the rule set and the strategy and kind of just the feel of 30k for that. So without further ado, let's take a look at the mission type and the armies. Okay guys, here is 1620 Death Guard. I'm using the Reaping Rites of War. Leading my army today, we have a Praetor. He is in Terminator armor. He has a combi, oh no, he just has a combi bolter. And then he has a Chain Fist. We have a 5-man Terminator squad, Cataphracti armor. We've got 3 Power Fists in there, 2 Chain Fists, and a Heavy Flamer. Moving back, I tried to make this a very Death Guard-esque army with a lot of bodies on the table. So we have 2 20-man blob squads. Each squad has an apothecary for that feel no pain goodness. We also have a sergeant. He has artificer armor, rad grenades, and a power scythe. So that's duplicated. We have 2 identical squads there. Moving over, veterans. The veterans have 2 flamers. The same sergeant that I mentioned before with the same loadout. They are mounted in a Rhino with a Havoc launcher. They've been given the marksman tactics, so they will outflank. And the nice thing there is the flamers are rending, shredding flamers. Just gross. We have a 5-man heavy support team with autocannons back here. And lastly, we have the Fire Raptor. So I've upgraded the turrets, the ball turrets here, to have the Reaper autocannon things, whatever the strength 7 is, not the bolters. And it's my first game with it. It's not quite painted, not quite done yet, but felt like it was time to get him on the table. So that is about 1620, I believe, was the total on the Death Guard list. Let's take a look at the Salamanders. Okay, guys, over here, 1620 something, 1622 of Salamanders, the debut game for this excellently painted Salamanders force that Dirk has brought today. It's his first game with first 30k game, right?
Minus the Victory's Vengeance.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Yeah, we did a little campaign, but this is his first full 30k game. And man, guys, if you could see this army in person, you would be drooling as much as I am. So, what he has today, it's a Praetor leading his army, the Thunderhammer, and that's a combi Volkite with, basically with Salamanders you can give Master Crafted for 5 points instead of 10, so he's done that wherever relevant, which is pretty handy. Missing anything on that guy?
Yeah, I forgot. He has the Mantle of the Elder Drake, which means he has Eternal Warrior.
Ooh, Eternal Warrior, okay, that's handy. We've got a Terminator squad, Cataphracti armor. Back here, 2 Chain Fists, 3 Power Fists, or 2 Power Fists looks like, and then a Power Sword in there. So very similar loadout to my Terminators, which will be interesting.
And that's the grenade harness.
Oh, yep. He does have the grenade harness, which might be advantageous. I did not bring it. We have a tactical squad over here. The Sergeant. Artificer Armor Power Fist.
And Master Crafted Power Fist.
Master Crafted Power Fist. That's so nice for 5 points, though. Right. I think that's definitely worth it.
And then
the Rhino has a Heavy Flamer on top, and because of the Salamander chapter tactics, the Flamers are actually +1 strength, so the Heavy Flamers will be strength 6, and all the Hand Flamers in his army will be strength 5, which is very cool. I'm also -1 strength with my Flamers, right?
Flamers,
which is,
yeah. Yep.
It's very good against Death Guard, so that's handy. We have the Contemptor back here. He's got the carries on his right arm, inbuilt Heavy Flamer in the left with the close combat weapon. Over here we have a tactical support squad with Flamers. Very nice. 5-man squad. Same loadout on the Rhino. We have a 5-man heavy support team with missile launchers. These have taken the flak missiles, the Skyfire variant, to help try to deal with the Fire Raptor that we have here, and another Rhino with the same loadout. That must be for the tacticals, right? Or are they on foot?
No, that is for these guys. These guys are on foot.
Okay, so then we have the last squad is a tactical squad on foot, and we have a chaplain, and he has a Thunderhammer and Infernal Pistol. Again, mastercrafted on the Thunderhammer, right?
Yep, and because of Salamanders, the Infernal Pistol's automatically mastercrafted.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. And that is a very nice Salamander's force, very fluffy. Both sides today, we tried to kind of balance the force out for because we don't have a ton of toys on the Salamander side of things yet, a ton of like the really fancy Spartans kind of stuff. So we tried to balance the game out as much as possible to have a good battle today. So let's set up, guys, and we'll come back to you in just a second. Okay, guys, for the mission today, this is the deployment that was rolled. This is the, it's called Clash of the Line. So we have two triangles, and if we look at the board we've got set up here, it's pretty awesome. And this was totally on purpose, that the triangle will come across and we'll each get a dilapidated bastion in our deployment zone to put our heavy squads on, which is quite beneficial. So it's just a little bit of a look at the board. The game type is mission 5, you said?
Tides of Carnage.
Tides of Carnage, okay. So that's the one where you score sectors, your deployment zone, no man's land, and the opposing deployment zone. And then there's this heavy armor roll, if you guys want to pause and look at that. The tanks are also worth basically a scoring unit at the end of the game for those different sectors. So we've got tanks, which the Salamanders have 3 rhinos, and I have 1. And then we also have our troops to score those sectors at the end of the game. So we're going to set up. We'll come back to you guys and show you the deployment. Okay, guys, we've deployed. It is not night fighting. It is high noon today on the battlefield on this ruined city. We have the Death Guard deploying first in a super tactical wedge formation. On this side, we have the autocannons up top in the dilapidated bastion, and the Terminators right in the middle, blobbing out to the left and to the right with our 20-man Feel No Pain Goodness tactical squads. Counter deploying on the other side of the battlefield, the Salamanders place their Terminators in front as well, ready to clash in the middle. We've got the heavy support missile launchers up top with a great vantage point. Flamers, tac squads, and rhinos, a foot slogging squad, and an empty rhino over here from the heavy support team to come over and score those points at the end of the game. So as we look over this battlefield, this is going to be so bloody. It's a very cool thematic battle today. In reserve for the Death Guard, we of course have the Fire Raptor and the outflanking veterans. For Warlord traits, I cause fear for my Warlord trait, and my opponent ignores fear from his Warlord trait.
No, my Warlord trait is Child of Terra. I reroll 1s in close combat. This unit rerolls 1s in close combat to wound.
Oh, you reroll 1. Okay,
right.
But you ignore fear. Oh, yeah. Great. Okay, even better. So, that's okay. Do you want to attempt to seize the initiative?
All right, here it is. This is how you do it. Nope.
Ah, close.
Close. Try. It might be the closest I've ever gotten.
All right, so it's going to be Death Guard, turn 1. Let's see how it goes. Good luck, man. Let's have fun.
Good.
Yeah, left-hander. We'll see you guys in just a second. A super quick first turn for the Death Guard. Because I'm using the Reaping Rites of War, I cannot run. We just moved up the wedge. Mortarion's wedge has advanced. We took a few bolter shots, I think 6 total into the Terminators, who made all their saves. And then I decided to lob the autocannons through this ruined building, if we look back over here, into the Rhino way down on the right there with the Flamer squad in it to try to pop it open. I did bring it down to 1 hull point and destroy both of the weapons on top. So that's a pretty good little thing to do in this opening turn here, as we're pretty far apart, and I think we're just kind of going to be really scared of each other's Fury of the Legion and like Flamer attacks, so it's going to be kind of a weird early game here. So let's take a look and see what happens in the Salamanders' first turn. Salamanders taking their first turn. Not a whole lot going on in this first turn. We both have a pretty short range engagement distance other than our heavy support teams. We had some shots raining down on the carries pattern autocannon shot into the Havocs up top of the bastion there, removing. Yeah, they're kind of like Havocs. They want to be Havocs.
Before Havoc existed.
They're heavy support squads with autocannons, and removing one. And then what he did was followed up with the missile launchers, and we decided that it would be better for him to do the blast, so that'd be frag missiles, right? Instead of crack, just because he could hit 3 with the direct. And he ended up scattering, did pretty well. I think you had 8 hits,
8 hits
onto the squad, and you rolled one wound. It was like all 3s, 2s, and 1s, then I saved it with the 6, which is just not normal. But, you know, that's 40K, and apparently that's how 30K goes, too. So they are looking okay up there. No leadership tests needed. Other than that, we had this Rhino popping smoke, this Rhino flatting out just a little to get nice and even here, and then a screen created from that Rhino. A few other small arms shots not wounding into the Marines. So basically, because we're looking to establish control of these sectors, we're pretty much both trying to root in the middle and then push forward into the enemy deployment zone. So it's going to be an interesting kind of mid and late game. So what we have now, starting turn 2, our reserve rolls for Death Guard, we have the Fire Raptor coming in on a 3. Comes in. The veterans coming in on a 3. Coming in. They're outflanking, so we'll do 1, 2, that edge, 3, 4 over here, 5, 6 I pick. So it's going to be coming in from that edge over there with the outflank rule, and should be good. So air support, comm support called in, and let's see how the second turn goes. Turn 2 for the Death Guard. Reserves arriving. We flew the Fire Raptor in, taking advantage of the Machine Spirit as well as the independent turret fire from the Reaper autocannon batteries. I fired all 4 missiles with Sunder into this Rhino, removing 2 hull points. Pretty handy there, and it's also snap shooting next turn. The Avenger from the front fired into this Marine squad, killing 1, and then killing 2, and then made it to the Sergeant who had a 2-up save, so that was nice. And then the cannon over here, the turret, fired into this Rhino, doing no wounds. And then I followed up with the autocannons from the back, able to wreck it, spilling out these Marines who passed their painting test. On this side of the board, the veterans arriving from outflank, dumping their flamers through. This chaplain is a monster. What a beast. He did take a wound, doing some nice lookout sir rolls, and he has, what's the invuln thing called?
Refractor field.
Refractor. So, I mean, I did get 3 rens through, and I think you saved all 3 with the... Yep. Or you ended up taking 1.
I took 1, yep.
And then, I mean, so that was very nice. And then the bolter fire coming in after that from the same squad doing no rending shots. So he tanked very, very well for his squad, and then they passed their leadership. So that really was it. The main thing that I was able to do was bring down the threat of the heavy flamers from the Rhinos and kind of slow the army down a bit, because this one's snap shooting, this one has no weapons, and that one is obviously not having a great day. I'm a little safer from the flamers, but guys, this squad is most certainly in trouble, and I think we're going to take some very heavy return fire. I think I'm out of range of charges for now. I kind of didn't move up very far, but the Salamanders still very strong on this side of the board, rooted into these this midfield here. So let's see what they do with their response turn in game turn 2. Okay, guys, we have to show you. This is something I don't usually do. I don't show too many dice rolls in my bat reps, but this is really intense. So what happened was the tactical support squad with flamers moved up in their Rhino, disembarked 6, flamed the piss out of this squad with 30 hits, and we're going to roll that right now. So go ahead, Dirk. It's 30 hits into my Death Guard. Looking for 3s because they're strength 5.
That looks like a lot of misses, but it always looks... I guess never mind.
One more 2 here.
Oh, there it is. Good. So that's 3 up and then 5 up.
Oh, jeez. So how many? Let's math this. I'm curious.
4, 8,
8, 10. So 20.
20.
That's interesting. Look at that average.
Pretty, yeah.
Okay, so I got 23. This is so hard. How do people do this? Thank you. 23 ups. Oh, dear. Oh, double dear. Oh, dear.
So
Guys.
I have 8, 9, so 11.
So I took 11s and 5 up fuel pain from the apothecary. Oh.
Save 2.
So I take 9. That is how you flame and barbecue some Death Guard right there. Look at that. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Didn't make it to any sergeants.
Just barely didn't.
Or anything like that, but still a very good barbecue for the Salamanders in their second turn. Let's finish it off and we'll come back to you guys with the summary. Okay, we finished up the rest of turn 2, which is the bottom of the second for Salamander's turn. You saw the dice rolls over here. Pretty much that was the remainder of the turn on this side of the board. The only other thing that happened was this squad took some shots into the Terminators and did remove one, which was pretty nice. For the rest of the board, Skyfire from the flak going into my Fire Raptor, who did not elect to jink, but did take 2 hull points and has crew stunned as a result of a penetrating hit, so he will have to snap fire next turn, so I can power the Machine Spirit to get 1 weapon at full BS, but that's still a pretty good kind of thing to do to that Fire Raptor, who only has 1 hull point remaining. Over here, as we kind of thought, this squad was absolutely annihilated by the combined charge of the tacticals with the Terminators, but I did kill the heavy flamered Terminator in Overwatch, which was quite handy. So, turn 2. Coming to a close. Death Guard, really, I have a lot of bodies, but not a lot of firepower to deal with some of these targets. Let's see kind of what I can do here as we take turn 3. Everything is on the board. No more reserves for either side. So it should be interesting. Death Guard takes the 3rd turn for the top of turn 3. And absolutely on point, devastating firepower. Just dice were not in the Salamander's favor. It's like, okay, so every time we had to take a 2-up Artificer save, he rolled a 1. It's like one of those days where it just was not happening. But you know, that sucks. So on this side of the board, what I did, there was this Flamer squad of 5 here. I took the shots from this Blob squad and the Terminator squad, and I was able to wipe them. These guys then took rapid fire shots. Did I rapid fire them? So I couldn't have tried to charge you. I failed my charge anyway, right. So yep. My bad. Sorry, man. So, well, they rapid fired into that squad and then tried to charge with my cheater tactic, Rite of War. You know, so there we go. They failed anyway, so I'm a bad cheater. They took, I think, like 3 casualties, a lot, actually. And then are holding strong over there. Then I moved over. This Rhino tank shocked through and flat outed to hide in deployment zone, maybe stay alive. Since I was crew stunned here, I had to take a lot of snapshots with the Fire Raptor. But yeah, surprisingly, I was able to do a lot of damage. The squad's luck running out here. This was the squad that lived through a ton of rending flamer hits and rending rapid fire bolters. But this time, again, that Sergeant save came up with the Artificer armor and he rolled a 1. And then since the Avenger Gatling is AP3, killing 2 more after that, just kind of crap rolls for the saves there. Snap shooting this into the Termies, doing nothing. Snap. Alright, I did power the machine to get the full ballistic skill from this ball turret into the heavy support squad, which is not Havocs, Long Fangs, or Devastators. They are actually a heavy support squad. And I did kill 1. And then I decided to chuck the autocannons from the tower. Got very lucky all the way through, killing 3 more, so they're down to 1. And that's really the damage I needed to do here to keep my Fire Raptor on the board this turn, hopefully. But we've got this really scary Contemptor with the carries pattern autocannon on this middle board here, which basically the only thing that scares him on the Death Guard side is the Terminators, because we've got Chain Fists. And he can really charge into combat and tie up any of the other squads that he wants to. It's going to be an interesting little meta that we've got going on here for the middle of the board and that sort of zone for the end of the game victory points. So we're moving into the bottom of the third now, and we'll see what the Salamanders pull out with their third turn. Concluding the third turn, the Salamanders are on the front, on the aggressive, running up with the Rhinos into my lines, right in front of my face. This one popping smoke. Both have, does this one have one? Yeah, both are on one hull point, right in my face. Looking to probably tank shock next turn through, because if they can get to my deployment zone, that's worth the 7 victory points at the end of the game. And we are at the halfway point right now, so that could be important for me to kill them. Turns. Oh, it's only 5 turns. So
it's not variable length.
We've only got two turns left then, so it's pretty important that I remove those Rhinos. Over here, the lone heavy support flacked into the Fire Raptor who did not jink, and it did not do any wounds. The Chaplain with the Infernal Pistol and Thunder Hammer, murdering the Rhino that I was trying to sneak back through. Over here, it blew up but did not kill any Marines. Since the Salamanders cannot run, the Terminators are slow to move up to the middle, but they are a very scary unit that I'm going to have a hard time dealing with. My only really trick here is weight of dice, I think, into them, which usually works against Termies, but we shall see. Over here, Fury of the Legion coming through.
One.
Yeah, killing one Marine, and I made like 7 2-ups or 8. I mean, too many.
Oh, 7 total, so 1 died, and then you made 6 more.
I should have, my sergeant should have died, yeah, but he lives. And so we're moving into turn 4. Interesting. My Terminators have moved a grand total of about 4 inches from their starting position. They're very slow, very scared of this Terminator force, which is not very Death Guard-esque, but we'll see what we can do as we move into the top of turn 4. The top of 4, Death Guard had their work cut out for them. I needed to remove these Rhinos out of my kind of face from getting into my deployment zone and scoring those points. So I had to charge this unit in because the autocannons were not able to strip that hull point because he had the smoke popped, which was really good. So I had to charge him in, and I ended up destroying it with all those attacks. But now I'm pretty close to those Terminators over there who can countercharge and potentially do a bunch of damage. Since these are only tacticals, they only have 1 attack each, and they are Terminators, so we'll see how that goes. These Terminators, one in with the Chain Fist, popped this Rhino. It did explode, but did not wound anything else. This combat, I came forward, took some bolt pistol shots in, and then charged in, and you can see that there is 1 remaining Salamander heroically standing, and I rolled a 1 for the sweeping advance, and you rolled what, a 5 or a 6 or something.
I rolled a 5, yeah.
So we're stuck, which is actually really important for the game because that was my 4th turn. So I would have consolidated up, had another turn of movement, and probably gotten into his deployment zone for the 7 points if I wasn't stuck here. So that's actually really important to have happen. So basically, we're not really sure how this is going to go. I mean, it's not looking great for Salamanders, but there are a few options he has to potentially have more scoring units in the middle, and then also have his deployment zone, so he would win in victory points. Also worth noting, the Fire Raptor came down into hover mode, shot into the rear armor, was not able to kill the Contemptor, but it is down to 1 wound there. So the game winding down here. We'll just have to see how it goes. Salamanders taking their 4th as the game winds down. Just finishing turn 4, that was a very interesting turn. So basically, we were kind of talking about it, and it didn't look great for the Salamanders, right? Because just There's not many units left on the table, but the units he does have remaining on the table are very scary, strong units that can threaten a lot of stuff that I have. So basically, he did remove the Fire Raptor, charging in with the Chaplain here, who's been doing just a ton of damage this game. Absolute monster. And tanking a lot of wounds as well. This combat pretty clearly was going to go in the Death Guard's favor, so I did get a 6-inch consolidate moving this way. Over here, the Terminators charged into this blob squad, decimating, doing I think 8 or 9 wounds, removing a lot of people from the Death Guard blob squad, who are now fleeing off back towards our deployment. So if they don't rally, that's extremely important for the end of the game. Now the Dreadnought did come over, take a shot, killing one Terminator in this squad. Tried to charge in and failed by 1 inch. He needed a 7 and rolled a 6. And but now really, it's a tough choice for me to go over there because there's 2 units that are very scary for my Terminators. Charging one just means I'm going to get countercharged by the other in the following turn, because he is on the bottom turn. He will get the last sort of turn to swing. So it's very close. Let's see what happens here. We're moving into the very last turn. This will be turn 5.
It's bloody, like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's been absolutely nasty. So let's take a look, guys. We'll take the 5th for Death Guard here. Okay, guys, this was hilarious. So Death Guard had I had a few things I needed to do in this turn. This was my last turn. I needed to try to control the middle, and then I needed to try to get something into his objective and kind of block him from having more units to be able to establish control of the zones. The first thing that went wrong, these guys did not rally, so they are not scoring. They're pretty much useless the rest of the game because that was my last turn. These guys, what I tried to do was move up. I only got a 3-inch even with move through cover for my move, and then I lost one to Overwatch and failed the charge. I did disordered charge to try to get both of these units to just, I mean, this guy only had 1 hull point left. I figured I could kill him, maybe kill a couple more little dudes, and that was my best shot for kind of establishing this. But now, I mean, I'm screwed. I'm in trouble, capital T, trouble. These guys, I just tried some pot shots, unable to wound. This over here, I moved them up 6. I needed like an 8-inch charge, but then they overwatched, killed a dude with the Infernal Pistol. It nailed me, and it's, you know, it's a melt-a-gun thing. So then I failed the charge. So the way we're sitting right now, pretty much in a good spot for the Salamanders, which is, I mean, not what we thought was going to happen. No. If you guys watching this game closely, it looked very bad for the Salamanders, but now, I mean, it's pretty much a win for them. But let's see, maybe the dice can go poorly, or something magical can happen, and Death Guard can pull it out. But let's take the very last turn and play out the bottom of 5. We'll see you guys in a second. Guys, that was a awesome final turn. We had a ton of really cool little scenarios occurring at different sections of the board. So I'm going to run you through basically how the game wound down. The bottom of the 5th turn, Salamanders, what they needed to do was split the unit of tacticals here. So we went one way with the tacticals and the other way with the Chaplain over here. And that was because he needed to get control of his deployment zone for the 3 victory points as per the mission objective, the primary. Because over here, I had my heavy support team controlling my objective, even though these are falling back and don't count. Because of the Reaping Rights of War, heavy support are non-compulsory troop choices for Death Guard. So we both controlled our deployment zone over here. Now in the middle, this was weird. We both had some Terminators hanging out here. Because Terminators have implacable advance, they count as denial units.
Scoring units. Scoring units.
Scoring units. Okay, so basically it came down to we were going to tie in the middle, or the Salamanders were going to win if they could destroy all of my Terminators and keep at least one of theirs alive. So he charged into me, lost one in Overwatch, it's magic, and then we attacked simultaneously because we all had I1. I wiped him completely, and he killed everything except for one Terminator. I think I rolled, I don't know, so many 4-ups. Like, I think I took 9 wounds or something, and I had only had 3 models. Even though I had a Praetor, he was getting instant death from the chain fist coming in, and I kept 1 alive. Over here, the Dreadnought charging in, winning combat, causing these to flee. Whoops, man down. So they don't count as scoring units. So we have this unit fleeing, and that means that we basically tied the middle because we have 2 denial units essentially.
I'm denying
right?
you scoring the middle, right?
Okay, so we tied the middle. We both have our own, and neither of us are in the enemy deployment zone. So for secondary objectives, there's something that we weren't sure of. So we both got Slay the Warlord, and one of them is Last Man Standing, which it says basically whoever has more units at the end of the game gets a secondary, a victory point. We don't know if units that are falling back count towards that victory point, because if they do, I would win. If they don't count, then Salamanders would get that point instead, and then Salamanders would win, because it's basically a 1-point swing either way. So if you guys could comment down below, you guys that are experienced veteran players in the 30K Millennia, if you could let us know what your thoughts are on that ruling, we'd appreciate it. Either way, a very, very, very good game. That was just bloody, man.
It was bloody.
That was great. Don't really care who won or who lost.
That was a good game.
At this point, I'd love to know the ruling, just because we kind of glanced through the rule book and couldn't find anything that was worded clearly enough for that particular scenario. So
yeah, I could see it ruling either way, that fleeing units never can be counted as scoring. They're counted as destroyed at the end of the game.
Right, like,
or
it might have something to do with the under 25% thing too.
Which they are.
Which they definitely are, but they aren't. Like, I don't know. I just love a clear... I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows and could just be like, hey, listen, this is the way it is. And tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Tell us what it is.
So, man, just...
That's awesome.
Hilarious.
Rhinos dead everywhere.
Yeah, there's just bloodbath of a game in the middle here. Any thoughts to close out, Dirk?
That was exactly what I wanted in my first 30K game. Just brutal, bloody... down to the last, people dying everywhere.
Yeah, dude, it was fun to just kind of bring a bunch of the basic 30K stuff in a way, to get a little bit more of that tactical matchup with the kind of the base units, instead of having those big toys that can kind of lay down the support in certain spots. I mean, the Fire Raptor threw that off a little bit because he's obviously pretty good, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty good. My blob squads here, I need to put something in them that can deal with armored targets, like that Contemptor there, like that. We talked about maybe having melta-bombs or a chaplain.
Put it on the chart. Put a melta-bomb on the sergeant. That gives you that option.
Sure. So just something. I think I also want to give them close combat weapons. Give that blob squad an extra attack.
Is that
I think it's 2 points a model. It's
That's
like
40 points on a dude that dies. I don't know.
I might have to
But
experiment.
man, you get into combat with them.
It's a lot of attacks. Like, you can run up Fury of the Legion somebody and just stand there, and then if they charge you, you've got a lot of attacks coming back in, another 40 attacks or whatever. So something to play with. Death Guard players, what do you like? Let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed the battle report. More 30K bat reps to come as we kind of expand our collections here. We're both just kind of getting to the point now where we can start recording the bat reps with painted armies for the most part, and get some content out for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.